I almost didn't go to that Christmas party. It was hosted by my coworker, Alejandro Ruiz, at his new house on the edge of town. We worked together at a small logistics company called Northway Freight Solutions, the kind of place where everyone knows your name but no one really knows your life. Alejandro was quiet but polite. Always on time. Always respectful. A little strange, maybe, but nothing alarming. Everyone at work said the same thing about him. Harmless, just introverted. I told myself I was just tired and paranoid. So I put on my sweater, grabbed a cheap bottle of wine and went. My name is Marisol Vega. I've been working at Northway Freight for 3 years, mostly keeping to myself. Alejandro and I weren't close, but we shared shifts, exchanged small talk, nodded at each other in the break room. That's why his invitation didn't feel dangerous, just awkward. The house was warm when I arrived. Christmas lights glowed softly, the kind that make everything look safer than it really is. Music played low. The smell of food filled the air. About 15 coworkers showed up. Laughter echoed. Drinks flowed. For a while I relaxed. As the night went on, people started leaving one by one. I noticed Alejandro always walked them to the door. And every time he came back inside I heard the lock click. By midnight there were only 4 of us left. Then 3. Then 2. Finally it was just me and Alejandro. I stood up, suddenly aware of how quiet the house had become. The music was off. The lights were dimmer. I should go, I said. Alejandro smiled. It's late. You can stay if you want. I declined and walked toward the door. It was locked. Oh, he said calmly, I always lock it. You know, safety. As he reached for the lock he paused. Did you enjoy the party? He asked. Yes, I answered. Good, he said softly. They all said that. That's when I noticed the faint scratch marks on the floor, leading toward the basement door. And beneath the scent of pine there was something else. Metallic. Heavy. My phone buzzed. Low battery. No signal. Alejandro stepped closer. Christmas is about togetherness, he said. I hate being alone. I didn't wait. I ran. I slammed into the door, yanking the lock as footsteps approached behind me, slow, unhurried. The door finally gave and I bolted into the cold night. The next week, Alejandro never returned to work. Neither did 2 coworkers who had been at that party. The police found nothing. But every Christmas I still smell pine and iron. Our office Christmas party was supposed to be fun. Just a small gathering in the break room. Cheap decorations taped to the walls, loud laughter, and a secret Santa gift exchange. We worked at Pacific Crest Marketing, a mid-sized firm in California where deadlines mattered more than people. My name is Ethan Moore. I worked hard. I stayed late. I kept my head down. The party was the one night we were supposed to relax. I drew a coworker named Lena Parker for Secret Santa. She was new. Quiet. Always worked with headphones on. I bought her a scarf, safe, forgettable. When it was my turn to receive a gift, I picked up a small box with my name written neatly on the tag. Inside was a USB drive. Attached was a note. Watch this alone. I assumed it was a joke. That night I plugged it into my laptop. The first video showed our office party, from a corner angle like hidden footage. I saw myself laughing, holding a drink. Then the screen cut. The next clip showed me in my kitchen. 2 nights earlier. Filmed from outside my window. Another clip played. Me sleeping. Another. Me leaving my apartment that morning. I shut the laptop and didn't sleep. The next day, Lena didn't come to work. HR said she quit. That night there was a package at my door. Wrapped like a Christmas gift. Inside was a glass ornament shaped like a person standing at a window. A note read, "You forgot to lock it." The police searched my apartment. Found nothing. But now every night I hear soft footsteps. And sometimes I wake up to my laptop open. Paused on a video that hasn't happened yet. Christmas is supposed to be a season of warmth, laughter, and safety. But sometimes the most terrifying things don't come from the dark. They come from familiar faces, friendly invitations, and places we thought we could trust. A coworker. A party. A gift. Evil doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it smiles, pours you a drink, and waits patiently for the room to empty. So if tonight's stories made you uneasy, that's because they're meant to. Because real horror doesn't live in haunted houses, it lives among us. And it only needs one moment of comfort, one unlocked door, one decision to stay a little longer. Be careful who you trust. Be careful where you go. And never ignore the feeling that tells you something isn't right. If these stories sent chills down your spine, you're not alone. Subscribe for more real, unsettling stories. Like this video to support the channel. Comment below if you've ever experienced something you still can't explain. And remember, sometimes the scariest Christmas stories are the ones that could happen to anyone.